What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wrestling City, and today we're going to be getting into episode 3 of Wrestling Jeopardy. So, of course, this one was posted by Wrestling Trivia. Always post some banger content, so go ahead and check them out. This one, he did not do a recent episode, so we went back to a little bit older one. I think this one is episode, I want to say it was 29, if I'm not mistaken. We just viewed one of the most popular ones. So before the past 2 episodes, it's been just me that has been going through these. But this time we decided it should be both of us. So we will go through all of these categories and we will just take turns. So like one, I guess, the other one is his turn. And for the bonus ones where we wager our stuff, we will both give an answer just so we don't fall behind when it comes to that situation. But besides that, are you ready to get started? Play some Jeopardy?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay. Who's going first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Okay, bet. We got some categories first.
Who is?
I'm ready.
Hello and welcome to Wrestling Jeopardy, the ultimate pro wrestling trivia challenge where you're the contestant. I'm your host, Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah!
And are you ready to load the spaceship with the rocket fuel and blast off into this episode?
So
Go ahead and grab that pen and paper, and let's go to the board now and check out the categories you'll be quizzed on, starting with the WWE Cookbook, followed by video games, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards, NXT Factions, and last but certainly not least, name that podcast host.
Okay.
And of course, that sound means it's time to play the game. So let's kick things off with the 200-point jobber round. Can you answer all 5 of these questions correctly, or will you completely embarrass yourself?
They can't beat Beetlejuice Booker T's got the belt fell out.
All right, let's see what you're cooking with and start off with the WWE Cookbook for 200. There's no way you can't see these Technicolor treats named after this wrestler.
I have no clue.
I don't know either.
And that would be, what are John Cena's Fruity Pebbles treats?
But
Fruity Pebbles, the charm is here.
Moving on to video
This is
games
unfair,
for 2. What is the name of the popular WWF video game shown here?
Oh man, I'm not very good with that. Is
One of my personal favorite games of all time. What is WWF?
Right there.
No mercy.
And that brings us to PWI Awards for 200. This Nature Boy has won the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Wrestler of the Year award a record 6 times.
Okay, who is Ric Flair? Hopefully it's not Buddy Rogers, but Ric Flair.
Recognizing the best professional wrestler of the year, Ric Flair has won this award a record 6 times and remains the only wrestler with more than 3 wins. And we're on to NXT Factions for 200. What was the name of the NXT faction that consisted of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong?
Who is Undisputed Era?
So difficult.
I know, right? So hard. Wow.
All right, let's see if I can do it. There's the U. Let me do West Coast, turn it into an E.
I'm going to be completely honest. I love it.
Who were the Undisputed Era?
Hey.
And let's finish up the 200-point round with name that
My
podcast
wheelhouse.
host. What former wrestler's podcast is called 6 Feet Under?
Who is The Undertaker? I love me some wrestling podcasts, man. We got to get some Conrad Thompson ones up in here for sure.
And that would be, who is Mark Calloway, a.k.a. The Undertaker?
Unimportant.
All right, we're jumping back into the kitchen for a clue
My turn
worth
on this one,
400 from the WWE Cookbook.
I'm gonna not get
Layer upon layer of chips, chili, and cheese are a tower of power, too sweet to be sour in this recipe.
What? Dude, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to get
Now,
any of
these
these
nachos are
probably.
also topped off with cut up Slim Jims, making this the cream of the crop of drunken food, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You will eat this appetizer and you will
Bruh,
like it.
who's gonna know
Ooh,
that?
yeah. What are the Nacho Man Randy Savage's nachos?
Prop
And
for
that
y'all
brings
that
us
know
to
that.
video games for 400.
Hey,
The SmackDown series of video games for the Sony PlayStation ended in 2003 with this title, which is often regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestling video games of all time.
what is Here Comes the Pain? I played through this entire season mode on our gaming channel, so check that out if you haven't
And
already.
that was the fifth and final installment of the SmackDown series called SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Goated.
Moving on to PWI Awards for 4. This brain won the now defunct Pro Wrestling Illustrated Manager of the Year award 4 times.
Who is Bobby the Brain Heenan?
Okay.
And that would be who was
Yes.
Bobby the Brain Heenan. Moving on to NXT
I was kinda
Factions
scared
for
about that one,
4.
honestly. There's
What was the
many.
name of the NXT faction that included B-Fab, Top
Okay.
Dollar, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Ashante The Adonis?
Who is Hit Row with Flop Dollar?
And the answer we're looking for here, who was Hit Row? And let's finish up the 400-point round with Name That Podcast host. 83 Weeks is the name of the
Shout out.
podcast, hosted by this former wrestling executive.
Who is Eric Bischoff? Easy E.
One of the best podcasts for real.
Yes, for sure.
And 83 Weeks is in reference to the amount of time that WCW Nitro defeated Monday Night Raw, 83 weeks in a row. The correct answer here, who is Eric Bischoff? All right, 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the Daily Double and Final Jeopardy. If you're having a good time, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and also the ringy dingy
Already
notification
done.
icon bell so you get notified whenever we come out with a brand new episode of Wrestling Jeopardy, presented, of course, by Wrestle Trivia. And let's go to the 600-point round. Things are going to get a little bit harder. And don't even think about Googling the answers because that's just cheating. So let's kick things off hot and heavy with the WWE Cookbook for 6. This meat-filled pie is exactly what the animal in your life needs to start their day.
Batista's shepherd pie, or what is Batista's shepherd pie? I mean, I have no clue.
Growing up, this would have been great if I just yelled to my mom or dad and just said, "Give me what I want for breakfast." And they say, "Kev, what do you want?" I'd say, "Bakishta."
And I quit.
But close.
And we're on to video games for 600. There's the Daily Double. It's coming a little bit earlier than usual, but that's cool. Once again, the category is video games. Think about how much you know about wrestling video games and place your wager right about now.
Okay, so for this one, we are both going to do this one, correct? Because, yeah, we don't want to get mixed up with all that. So, yeah, we will go as if we both have this category and then move on as regular after.
I'm sure we have the same points right now, right? What? I'm sure we have the same points right now, right?
You have 1,000. That's
All right, time is up. Let's go to the clue.
I'm gonna wager.
Released in the fall of 1998, this WCW NWO game became the best-selling wrestling game for the Nintendo 64 console.
Oh, what is? I'm between two. What is WCW/NWO Revenge?
And the correct
don't
answer
know.
here, that would be, what is WCW
I didn't know
NWO Revenge?
Hmm.
Oh,
And we're
God.
moving on to PWI awards for 6.
Yeah, what'd you wager for yours?
300.
300. Okay. I'm
So I'm
trying
back down to
figure out the
700.
numbers right now. And I wager 1,000, so I have 2,200. You have 700 currently.
Yeesh.
Medusa Michelli was the first female wrestler to win this Pro Wrestling Illustrated award.
Female Wrestler of the Year?
Well,
what is Female Wrestler of the Year?
No, it wasn't. Women's Wrestler of the Year. In 1998, Medusa won the Rookie of the Year award. And we're on to NXT Factions for 6. What was the name of the NXT faction featuring Joe Gacy, Ava Raine, James Drake, a.k.a. Jagger Reed, and Zach Gibson, a.k.a. Rip Fowler?
What is British Strong Style or something like that?
Yes, with their creepy masks. The correct answer here. Who was the Schism?
I've never.
And we're finishing up the 600-point round. What wrestler is part of the podcast known as Click This?
Who is Kevin Nash?
Yeah. Okay.
It's 2 sweets. That would be who is Kevin Nash. And here comes the 800-point round. You need to know your facts, your figures, and your trivia if you want to ace the 800-point round. Starting off with the WWE Cookbook. This iconic shrimp cocktail is a showstopper as either a starter or a main event dish.
What is Shawn Michaels' shrimp cocktail?
I bet you didn't know this, but this actually pairs really, really well with some sweet chimichurri music sauce. Anyone? Bueller?
Hey.
The correct answer here. What is Prawn Michaels? Don't at me, bro. I didn't write that. Okay, actually, I did write it. So I apologize. Moving on to video games for 8. In the arcade game WWF Superstars, players compete as a tag team, and after 3 matches are won, you get to challenge this team in the final round.
Okay.
I don't know this one. I'm not very good with older video games, so I know
that would be who is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Andre the Giant, also known as the Mega Bucks.
I'll put you to sleep with my $1 million dream.
And let's move on to PWI Awards for 8. As of 2023, John Cena and this wrestler have the most appearances at number 1 in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 with 3.
Most appearances at number 1? How about Shawn Michaels? Who is Shawn Michaels?
He's a visionary. He's an architect. He's Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth appeared at number 1 in the PWI 500 in 2015, 2019, and again in 2023. What do you say we go to NXT Factions for 800? What was the name of the NXT faction that included Mei Ying, Xia Li, and Boa?
All yours, buddy.
I have no idea. I don't know who Boa is. I've never heard of Boa.
And that would be who was
Tien Sa.
Bruh.
And let's close out the 800-point round with Name That Podcast host. What wrestler hosts the Art of Wrestling podcast?
The Art of Wrestling? Who is Larry Zbyszko? I don't even think he's alive anymore.
And that would be none other than Boom Boom himself, who is Colt Cabana.
Hey, generico numero uno! Your promos suck.
Well, with CM Punk, that was on.
Really? I think good.
And we've reached the most difficult round in Wrestling Jeopardy, the 1,000-point round. These questions are designed to take you on a journey through wrestling history. So if you fancy yourself a wrestling trivia aficionado, well, you better get your thinking cap on because this round is designed to put your knowledge to the test. So let's start off the 1,000-point round with a clue from the WWE Cookbook. This recipe is the quintessential cocktail for the quintessential living legend.
Do you know it?
Well, I know who it's for, but
See what you got to do. You take 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and then you got to make sure you get 3 Italian olives, and you get none other than what is a Bruno San Martini. And that brings us to the final clue from video games.
Catch up.
The centerpiece of this horror-themed downloadable content pack, or DLC pack for you gamers out there, for WWE 2K20 was the playable character of The Fiend.
This was a terrible DLC. What is Bump in the Night? I just saw something about this the other day.
Plagued by a ton of technical issues, the much maligned WWE 2K20 is full of bugs and glitches, but the Halloween-themed Bump in the Night DLC pack did give gamers the chance to play with the hottest act in wrestling at the time, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Let's move on to the final clue from Pro Wrestling Illustrated Awards. This superstar has won the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Match of the Year award a record 11 times, including a 4-year win streak from 1993 to 1996, and then a 7-year win streak from 2004 to 2010.
Who is Shawn Michaels?
And a special thanks to Scott Decker, who gave this little gem to everyone during the live stream I did a little while ago. If you're watching the live stream, then maybe you would remember that the correct answer here is none other than the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, not Prawn Michaels. And we're on to the final clue from NXT Factions. What was the name of the NXT faction that included Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan?
I don't know this one either, bro.
I have no clue. They were pretty recent.
And these guys were unofficially, or maybe officially, called the Kings of NXT. And let's close out the board with the final clue from Name That Podcast host. What former WWF on-air personality hosts the podcast called Prime Time?
Who is Darren? No.
And that would be the man, the myth, the legend. Who is Sean Mooney? All right, don't quit now. It's time for Final Jeopardy. Let's find out what this episode's category is. Would you look at that? I quit matches. There have been a ton of these all through the years, so just kind of put that in your noodle. Think about that and place your wager right now.
Okay, so before we start, or as we go with this one, we will go ahead and actually verbally have our wager. How much you gonna wager?
I don't think I have a lot to wager here, so I'm gonna wager 800.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I went a little bit more ballsy. I'm going to wager 1,500.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, time is up. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue from I Quit Matches. This wrestler is the only person to compete in I Quit Matches for 3 different companies: the NWA, ECW, and WCW. Good luck.
Bruh.
Was it so we can all, last time we kind of just went across and didn't give our, we couldn't hear exactly what we both said. NWA, ECW, WCW. Okay, do you want to go in 3, 2, 1? Who is Bam Bam Bigelow?
Flair?
Hey, Bam Bam Bigelow was one. I think I remember him being in a match. NWA.
Having first wrestled in an I Quit match back in 1975, Terry Funk became synonymous with this special stipulation and arguably competed in the greatest I Quit match ever versus Ric Flair at Clash of the Champions 9, New York Knockout in 1989. And that does it for this episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. If you
Okay, so I did not do very hot. I think my record for the first one, I think I got like, I think it was 3,200 or something. Or no, I think I got like 5,200. I did pretty good in the first one. This one I finished though, because that screwed me over. I finished with 1,700. So not as good as I wanted to go. But
Hmm.
what'd you?
I'm calculating it right now. Hmm. 1,800.
Oh man. Oh, I need to stop wagering so much. Every time I
What'd you
wager a
get
fair
again?
amount, and then I screw myself over.
What'd you get again?
1,700.
Yeah, I
So you
won.
beat me by 100, but that's like literally like we both just went through like a meat grinder. We just got whooped on, and you're like, yes,
Hey,
yes,
I
you
won.
got a
I'll
worse
take it.
concussion. We
I'll
both
take
got whooped on, bro.
I won. I'll take it.
Um, yeah, I assume a lot of people got a better score. We will be doing these in the future. I promise you, Kevin, we will get some better scores. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with WWE cookbook trivia because I don't know anything about that. The faction one also tripped us up a little bit, but hopefully next week we will do better. If you like this video, don't forget to drop a like, comment below what score you got, how much better you did than us, because I know there's a lot of people that did do better. And don't forget to subscribe to the greatest city in the world, Wrestling City. And that's about it. We will see y'all next time. Peace.